In Allie McCullough's November 16th, 1874 diary entry, she mentions, "There were 4 funerals today, and a man was all smashed to pieces on the cars. It is terrible." That man was Dr. Elijah Hamlin Drake, a 53-year-old Detroit physician who had gone to see a patient and was consulting with his friend, Dr. Pattison of Ypsilanti, and they were walking along the tracks as Drake was heading back to his home on his birthday to see his family, and his sons, I believe, were visiting. One son was visiting from out of town, and here's how the story goes. A sudden, solemn event. On Monday last, Dr. E.H. Drake of Detroit, a physician of eminence not only of local but of state and national reputation, left his home in usual health and rather more than usual exuberance of spirit in order to visit our city, taking the 7 a.m. train. He was invited to consult with Dr. S.W. Pattison, returning from visiting the patient just opposite the roundhouse, conversing intently upon the diagnosis of the case. The whistle of a coming train was heard. Dr. Drake said, "Doctor, is that not my train?" It was the Detroit, due here about 10 a.m. Dr. P replied, "I think it is." Dr. Drake, as is usual with people who see a train coming that they are to take, was in an evident hurry, and exclaiming, "Doctor, I will see you again," language doubtless prophetic now in a religious sense, quickly passed to the other side of the north track. There are 4 tracks here, and they were walking in the interval between the middle and the north track. As this track bows around, so as to pass on the north side of the depot, he evidently supposed that it was a side one, and feeling perfectly safe, walked hurriedly along just inside the north rail. The engineer discovered him just in time to whistle down the brakes and give the alarm. The doctor turned his head to see what was the matter when the cowcatcher struck him and hurled him with such force, striking head foremost against the pusher, or iron projection of the engine, as to crush in the skull. His side was injured and his hand broken and nearly cut off next to the wrist. He never knew what hurt him. It was instantaneous death. If he had remained with Dr. Pattison between the tracks, he would have been safe and would have had ample time to have watched or reached the depot in season. Dr. Pattison, being an elderly man, he thought it necessary to hasten along faster than he well could, and cross to the north side as a matter of safety, as well as to shorten the distance. This is one supposition. Another is that looking back he saw the train apparently coming right along their track, and this is certainly the appearance to persons standing where they did, and as danger flashed upon his mind, he sprang into a place of safety, but really the jaws of destruction. In this case, he expected Dr. Pattison to follow him. He was conscious of safety where he was, and was surprised at Dr. Drake's movements. Supposing that he was safe on the other side of the train, he ran along to bid him goodbye when a boy spoke to him. "A man is killed." Turning around, there lay the mangled form of him who only a moment before was walking by his side. It is not surprising that Dr. D took the inside track, as it bows around, so as to leave but little room outside, and he no doubt supposed that it was a side track, his mind also being intent on reaching the depot in season. He was then taken to Dr. Pattison's residence, and a coroner's inquest was held, exonerating every party of blame. The friends were telegraphed to come out on the 3 o'clock train. On the 4:30 o'clock train, he was taken back a corpse. Such is life. In a moment when we think not, the Son of Man cometh. In this case, the scripture truly applies. One was taken and the other left. His old friends, Mr. and Mrs. Liebel, I think it says, hearing of the doctor's death, hastened to render assistance and suitably prepare the body for the sight of friends. The doctor was 53 years old the day he died. His wife was visiting the family of Congressman Willard at Battle Creek, having been in ill health. His children, 2 sons and a daughter, were anticipating a reunion on that evening around the home altar. The kind, generous husband and affectionate father was in that circle, inanimate and speechless, taken away, not by protracted disease, but suddenly like a clap of thunder from a cloudless sky. Mysterious are the ways of God, and past finding out. The doctor had a host of friends in Detroit, and the flags were placed at half-mast on public buildings, and many private residences were draped in mourning. That's crazy. Stately looking gentleman, and then there's his grave in, I believe it's Elmwood Cemetery in Detroit. And Allie was not a participant, but a inactive participant, as she mentioned it. All right, that's all. Goodbye.